Welcome to Kairos, the financial planning podcast. Kairos is a Greek word that means the opportune moment. This is a monthly 20-minute personal finance podcast on doing the right thing at the right time. We drop a new episode on the first Wednesday of every month. You should listen to Kairos if you want to understand personal finance without a product push. We do not market or advertise any products on this show. On Kairos, you will hear us discuss stories about how financial planning adds value to different people. These stories are familiar and relevant. On each episode, we share insights on financial planning and practical examples of how it works. This audio content is for informational and educational purposes only. Nothing contained in this audio shall constitute or be deemed to constitute advice. Always seek the advice of a professional with any questions you may have regarding your financial decisions. Kairos is here to help you experience a smoother journey to wealth creation.
Hi, I'm Namrita and welcome back to Kairos, the I Thought Plan podcast. This time, we are talking about homemakers and personal finance. This episode is for the men of the house too. It feels like a lifetime ago, but before the lockdown, I conducted a personal finance workshop for women in Bangalore. For me, this was a special experience because I learned a lot. I went in expecting a room filled with working women. I was surprised to find that half of my audience were homemakers. Our attendees also included women who were re entering the workforce after a career break due to either marriage or children. Each of these women wanted to take control of their finances. Almost every homemaker wanted to run a business from a home. Many of us know that managing business finance is challenging, but did you know that running a household finance isn't a breeze? Traditionally, the men of the family are primary breadwinners and manage the family's finances. This includes settling bills, managing the loans, choosing investments. Women, on the other hand, look at the household affairs. They manage groceries, repairs, school fees, etc. within the budget. In these changing times, women, both working and homemakers, have started taking keen interest in managing the finances, and they are excelling at it. Coming back to the workshop, I noticed that a small fraction of women were hesitant to manage their finances, but the majority were already heavily involved cost conscious savers. As generations evolved over time, a homemaker's role has expanded too. Of course, you're still looking after the house and taking care of children, but there's so much aspiration. The concept of a homemaker has had a makeover, and it's high time that we noticed. Many of them run small businesses from their homes. Jaya, in your experience, how involved are homemakers in the family's financial decisions?
Gone are the days when homemakers confined themselves to the four walls of their house, right? I think their involvement in financial decision has also evolved. So, looking back, in many households, the breadwinner paid the bills and managed the family's finances. But the area of concern is that men only shared money and not financial information. Also, homemakers were happy to be financially detached, so they did not know what kind of investments were there in their name, how much was being distributed to their children, and what level of financial security the entire family had. But anyone can see how this sort of information asymmetry becomes a huge problem. So, to answer to your question, we have noticed a sea change in how homemakers are handling money. Women appear to be closing the gap when it comes to their knowledge or involvement in financial matters. And we are seeing more and more women nudging their spouses into financial planning. This is actually in their interest. Also, statistics shows that women on an average tend to outlive men. And in our society, we know women typically marry older men. So there is going to be at least a few years in their later life when they are handling money on their own. Having said that, personal finance is a big responsibility and you cannot learn it overnight. So, if you have been reluctant and ignorant your whole life, then having the responsibility thrust on you all of a sudden feels completely awful. So, this applies to both working women and homemakers. So I feel that women should, start working on this at their own pace. Planning can gradually build those comfort levels. Getting involved in the family's finances benefits everyone. And homemakers have the added challenge of running a single income household, so they must be doubly careful when providing for the family goals like children's education, retirement, etc. And to look at marriage, it is about making decisions together. So both husband and wife should put their heads together and decide how much to save towards each goal. So this ensures that no one ever feels like the whole burden of decision making is on one person. Many of us don't realize that the people who lose most when the breadwinner is underinsured is the family. Would like to quote here what Sylvia Plath, a famous writer, once said. My mother had taught shorthand and typing to support us since my father died, and she secretly hated it and hated him for dying and leaving no money because he didn't trust the life insurance salesman. Another important aspect is for couples to have their estate in order. So, a homemaker must feel that she is adequately provided for through any eventuality. A will or a trust could go a long way in protecting her interests. To summarize, three ways homemakers can get involved are by checking that the family is adequately insured, ensuring that the family's estate is in order, and maintaining an accurate record of the whole finances of the family.
Personally, I feel that we overlook the skills of homemakers. Can you draw parallels between the personal finance skills and managing a household?
I think many of us have this outdated image of what a homemaker looks like. We imagine someone who's sitting in front of a television chopping vegetables or going about household chores. But that image is an illusion. Women are up to a lot more these days. Some of it is thanks to technology, where machines have been able to release time, and some of it is thanks to affluence. Women have a lot more support in running a household today, so there is time for them to pursue something outside of their traditionally defined duties. A lot of women on career breaks find themselves working as freelancers, taking tuitions, or even setting up home run businesses. I know a lady who runs a soap making business from her house. My cousin stitches dresses and makes bags. Another relative volunteers at an NGO. A friend of mine does yoga consultations. They're not in it for the money, they're doing this work out of their own interest. I also think the skills you use in running a household come handy in other areas of life. Managing a household help is surprisingly similar to managing a team. You need a lot of emotional intelligence and patience to keep your family happy. Those are the very same skills you need when it comes to managing vendors, distributors, or customers. And of course, every homemaker is cost conscious. They are adept at finding the best quality at the best price. Negotiating prices and quality control are essential business skills. So, the skills that a homemaker uses every day are the skills that enable her to successfully run her business.
Do you think a homemaker is the right person to take full financial responsibility?
Of course, in general, when both partners are involved, the quality of decision making goes up a notch. Homemakers and women in general add value in a few ways. I've noticed three trends in my experience that I'd like to share. First, women tend to focus on the family's overall goals, whereas men are more focused on providing for immediate needs or retirement. So, a woman would think about saving for college or a wedding, whereas men are more focused on ensuring that the family leads a good life now and that retirement is smooth. Having a woman involved brings a more diverse perspective to the savings plan. And there's a good balance of priorities when both partners are involved. Second, women worry about risks all the time. They choose safer investments. Typically, you would see more investments in fixed deposits and gold, and hardly anything in equity. But you need all of these assets in a family's portfolio. Lastly, from an attitude perspective, I think homemakers are more careful with the family's savings because they are more conscious of how hard it was for their spouse to earn that money. They would much rather save than spend. Money really is in the best hands when a homemaker takes charge.
For a homemaker, there may not always be a source of income, and therefore the savings she can call her own. On different or special occasions, she may receive money that is hers to spend or save. One pattern I have noticed is that women tend to invest their savings in jewelry or gold. Is that really the best way they can save? What are the other options do they have?
I remember as a kid, my grandmother would give me money from a jar in her kitchen. So I grew up with a piggy bank, and then when I was a teenager, I had my own piggy bank account. Back then, my grandparents had also bought some of the LIC policies for me, and I still get money from those policies. And my mother saved in recurring deposits and gold. So the concept of mutual funds is still new, but it is gaining mind share. I am not really convinced that you can call it investing in jewelry. Firstly, jewelry has a sentimental value. Second, you are using the asset, it's not generating an income for you or appreciating in value. And the reason it doesn't appreciate in value is because of all the charges involved, like the making, wastage, and the storage costs, right? So, gold in itself is a great asset to invest in, but a better route would be through sovereign gold bonds, gold funds, or gold ETFs. Also, like Sam mentioned earlier, many homemakers are also entrepreneurs now. They have their own means of income too. So, for starters, homemakers must know their saving options. So, being conservative is a good thing, and as and when the confidence builds, they become more open to newer saving avenues. Mutual funds are also more tax efficient than the traditional investments like fixed deposits. And every homemaker wants to beat inflation, and it doesn't take a lot of risk to achieve this. I would say working with an advisor or a financial planner is probably the best way to get this job done.
Whether you're a homemaker or a working woman, there is a need to be financially literate. Do you think working women in some ways have an advantage over homemakers? Is there a way to get women and men on the same page when it comes to the financial decisions?
Honestly, I feel the division of labor in terms of finances is the same in both single income and double income households. Women in general still seem reluctant to take control of their finances. Working women have the added advantage of income to their name, but in most cases, even they prefer to outsource financial decisions and take a back seat. In my opinion, you don't have to draw an income to feel financially empowered. That feeling of financial independence and financial empowerment comes from building a strong relationship with money. The only way you can do this is through financial literacy. And it's a life skill. If you don't want to get deep into personal finance, you should at least know how to choose an advisor. Earlier, Jaya talked about how important it is that women take control of their finances on their own terms. Today, more than ever before, women are going through separations and divorces, or they're opting to be single parents. Knowing how to navigate these life transitions can significantly reduce financial stress. Many times, women don't know the family's assets or liabilities. We've heard so many stories of debtors coming to collect from a family after the loss of a loved one. If the wife isn't involved in the husband's financial affairs, she may not even know who owes the family money and which creditors are genuine. Financial planning creates a track record of the family's assets, liabilities, and aspirations. Through every review, a family can take stock of their decisions. This written record shows the evolution of a family's financial health. Working with a qualified professional means that there's always someone outside the family who knows your financial affairs.
Jaya also pointed out how it's in the family's interest to ensure that the breadwinner is adequately insured. An action plan for the settlement is just as important. Someone I was interacting with wanted to opt for a monthly payout plan so that his wife wouldn't have to worry about generating income after his time. Handling a lump sum insurance settlement offers more flexibility, but it can also become problematic to say no to lending money to relatives or investing the insurance proceeds. Making these decisions together ensures everybody's buy in. The essence of marriage is to make joint decisions. As a family, you should decide how your assets will be distributed, where you make your investments, and who you choose as a financial advisor. You need to have conversations about how much insurance will give you financial security and how much to set aside for retirement. Two heads are better than one. Couples that identify their financial priorities together stand a better chance at achieving their goals. This is a lot for two people to do together, and this is why planning with a professional is important. Not everybody has the time and inclination to give their finances the attention it needs.
Thank you both for your inputs. Financial security is a woman's best friend. Insurance, estate planning, and goal setting improve financial well being. With planning, we tend to save more for the things that matter. This is empowering and creates a path to a more secure future. A woman who is well versed in finance can act in the best interest of the family. Regardless of whether you're single, married, a homemaker, or a working woman, mastering personal finance should be a priority. Confidence and consistency lead to financial independence. We dedicate this episode to all the women out there who make houses feel like home. Thank you for listening in, and we hope to work with you soon. You can reach us at info@ithought.co.in or drop a WhatsApp message to 919500027285. Stay tuned for our next episode. Thank you.